Hello, and welcome to World Literature 1. We're talking about the Aeneid again. I am Professor Jack Hellenhofer here at Ocean County College, and I hope you're doing well. Today, now, at least, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about some of the important themes that are going on in the Aeneid. They're themes that you need to understand in order to truly understand what's happening, what's going on. They're human cultural themes, but perhaps they were more important to the Roman than they might be to the modern reader. So let's talk about a couple of vocabulary words that you need to know. These vocabulary words are all based on cultural concepts that were common in Rome. And the first one is fatum. Fatum, which means fate in Latin. And so why do we use the term in Latin for this purpose? Well, the idea is that in modern society, fate is a matter of belief for a lot of people. Some people do not believe in fate, some people do. For the reader of the Aeneid, the expectation is that Aeneas is feeling his need to follow his fate, that Aeneas understands what his fate is, and that fate is, that destiny is, to found the city of Rome, which is perhaps the most important fate to the Roman that has ever occurred, that has ever been out there. The person who founds Rome founds the world for the Roman. Remember that the Roman is a highly motivated citizen, a citizen who is patriotic and in many ways ties the fate of their nation exactly with the fate of self. So obviously, it's a generalization, but at least we can take that as this is what Virgil would like us to believe about the Roman citizen. So fatum, and the understanding that Aeneas is pursuing a fate that is highly important, is important for you to understand, important for the reader to understand that while fate may not be set in stone, if Aeneas falls from this path, it will be a calamity for the world, at least according to the Roman. The next word I'd like to talk about is furor. Furor, for the Roman, was ungoverned passion. It is that thing that you really want to do despite knowing there are other things that you should be doing. It is that thing that you would like to do despite knowing that your duty is to do something completely else. It is going to the beach when you are supposed to be at work. It is running off to the mall instead of going to school. It is when you're involved in a committed relationship, or you have committed yourself to a pathway, like, let's say, joining the army, avoiding that new love, that new affair. So your furor is that which you truly want to do, what your passions make you want to do. And this is to be fought against for the Stoic Roman, because often what your furor is goes exactly against your fate, what you need to do. The final word I'd like to talk about is pietas. And pietas, for the Roman, is duty. Duty in all things. The duty of the citizen, the duty of the parent, the duty of the son, the duty of the student. Duty, duty, duty. Everything that we have to have as a Roman citizen has an attached obligation to it. So pietas, which we get the English word piety for, is a highly important Roman concept and a highly important part of what makes a Roman a Roman. Now you put it all together and you look at what we've built here with these three concepts, you can see the plot of the Aeneid unfolding before you. Aeneas has a fate, a fatum, to be the founder of Rome. That is his pietas, his duty. His pietas, his duty to be the founder of Rome, along with all the other duties that will have. He needs to be a good son. He needs to be a good father. He needs to be, does he need to be a good husband? I don't know if he ever really is. But he needs to at least be a good leader for the future Roman people. His furor, his passion, becomes Dido, the queen of Carthage. She is a woman whom he meets in Book 4, whom he falls in love with. That's up to the reader to decide. But she is certainly a passion of his, and she keeps him from following his fatum. So that is the conflict, isn't it? Furor, ungoverned passion, in other words, his want to be with Dido, against pietas, duty, what you should do, which is to be on the move, to be heading towards Rome, to be creating the Roman Empire. And so the stop along the way with Dido is an important part of the main theme of what's going on here. Now, for those of you who are close readers will notice that Dido, the queen of Carthage, is founding Carthage in Book 4. Aeneas, the founder of Rome, will then be that who moves the Roman Empire to become what it will be. And as you see later on in last week, great wars, 3 of them, will be fought between these 2 cities, Carthage and Rome. They fought the Punic Wars, which we saw movies about last week. And so Virgil takes these Punic Wars that are such a fundamental part of his Rome, such a fundamental part of who they are, and he gives them this mythical origin, this mythical beginning, that the Punic Wars truly started on the day that Aeneas landed in Carthage, northern Africa. And on that day when he and Dido began their affair, and then Aeneas is forced to flee, or not to flee, but to leave, to continue to follow his fate, his fatum, and then Dido destroys herself, commits suicide, and proclaims before that suicide that never will Rome or Carthage be friends. They will contend forever. Well, these are long-lasting things forever. And so Carthage's proclamation there at the end, Dido's proclamation at the end, that forever Rome and Carthage will be at odds, may be part of the Roman character, considering the final Carthaginian War, the final Punic War, wherein Rome enslaves all Carthaginian women and children, kills all Carthaginian men, destroys the city, and salts the earth around it so no crops can ever grow in that part of Libya again. So that war is incredibly important psychologically to the Roman, and is all mythically held right here between the love affair of Dido and Aeneas in Book 4. And the conflict that's occurring between what Aeneas wants to do, his furor, his passion, his need to, his duty to do things, what he's obligated to do, which is to go, move on, to go to Rome, to found this city, his pietas, that is the conflict. And of course, his fate, what he will eventually do. So these 3 terms, fatum, furor, and pietas, are extraordinarily important for the reader of the Aeneid to understand. They answer questions like, why didn't he just stay? Or what makes him move on? Or what makes her destroy herself? Things of that nature. If you have any questions, please email or write me or call me or whatever you'd like to do.